Okay, next, we are joined by someone who you all have heard of, even if you don't know that you've heard of him or not, or heard of him already. This is a man who was one of 3 Americans who helped stop the terrorist on the train to Paris in August of 2015. Please welcome Alec Skarlatos.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me. As you know, I was one of the 3 Americans that was fortunate enough to stop a terrorist attack on a train in 2015. So the most passionate issue that I have is gun rights. I think that socialism is leading us in the absolutely wrong direction for this country. I think that everybody in this country has a right to defend themselves. And I mean, I carry a gun on me every day. And of course, the only time I was involved in a terrorist attack was in Europe, a place where they have gun control throughout the entire continent, and it didn't work for them. I think this next election is going to be incredibly important to take a stand against socialism, simply because the Democrats have gotten increasingly more socialist. Even just if you look at the presidential candidates, you have Beto O'Rourke saying we're going to come take your AR-15s, your AK-47s. That is something that even Democrats, just going back to last cycle, would never admit publicly. So now we know what their true agenda is, and we need to stand up for it. That's one of the biggest issues and biggest reasons that I decided to run for Congress in 2020 in Oregon's 4th Congressional District. Thank you. But also because the Democrat we have in that district has gone incredibly socialist, and it has hurt our economy. And if you talk about all of the repercussions of having a bad economy, our drug use rate has gone up incredibly. Our child abuse rates have gone up incredibly, just since ruining the timber industry, which in my district is kind of the lifeblood. So just from people being unemployed thanks to socialist policies, we now have drug, crime, and child abuse problems that all stem from that. And if you look at the social cost of socialism, which, ironically, it's just not worth it. We're all Americans. We have a right to work for ourselves. We have a right to defend ourselves. It's all about personal liberty and not using our taxpayer dollars to pay for other people's lives. So I'd just like to thank you all for coming out. I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you all for having me. Keep the fight. This election is going to be incredibly important, so please turn out to vote and get all your friends and family to turn out to vote. Thank you. Thank you.